we're going to be making a Spotify playlist of all of our listeners' top 3 country songs.
That's right. So if you haven't put in your top 3, shoot us an email or
go to Facebook, go to that post where I asked you to.
Yeah. Hey, even I did it. I hate country music.
Yeah.
Like with a passion.
So you're taking the whole top 3 or just their number 1 and then making...
I'll be honest with you. There's only one song that was submitted of the dozens that I'm like, I'm not putting that on a list with the hard-headed name attached to it. I think.
Just one?
I think, yeah. Dude, we got some awesome listeners that have some great music ideas.
I like that.
I like it. Let's do it. We're going to make it happen.
Speaking of music.
Kick it. You do a lot of
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hardheaded podcast. With me, right across from me, always, it's Mr. Matt Amos. To my very far right, Chet Sears. We have a special guest today.
Mr. Joshua Sust is here with us today.
That's right. So we are going to start that off.
In studio.
This
guest. Is the Josh, you hold the award for the farthest distance traveled to be part of our podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll get a trophy.
And that's the only reason you're in Wichita, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that and then get a leg.
Yeah.
You're going to get me a trophy, Matt? It says best guest.
Yeah, we'll send it to your new house.
Perfect.
How big do you want it? That big?
Small.
That's called the Matt Amos size trophy. Every time Matt's bought himself a trophy, it's been that big.
Getting ready to get another trophy entered into this office. I don't know if you know about it or not.
Oh, I hadn't heard about this. What is it?
It's the cornhole trophy.
Oh,
the office cornhole champion.
No.
Yes.
Hadn't played me yet.
You don't work in this office.
True. I'm in it a lot, though.
Yeah.
I could be grafted in, right?
I would say that you're here more than me, but...
Oh, that's about close.
But you were out out for COVID a while back, so
some patients that have been in
I got caught up.
Yeah.
Well, I got some killer Saints boards for my birthday last year, and I've been practicing.
I want to see this. I want to see a Troy versus Matt cornhole match because Matt's practicing.
Dude, let's film it. We'll put it on YouTube. Love it.
Yeah. I'll show you all my special tricks. We need to find a day that it's not windy though, because Josh and I played last night, and it was.
I thought you were playing in the hall.
Well,
no, the office championship was in the hallway.
Yeah, but
okay.
He practices at home every day.
I typically I've been throwing about 800 bags a night.
Wow.
But because I get home from work and the kids are at practice of some sort, and wife's with them at their various practices, figure skating, soccer, whatever it is. I have nothing to do till about 9:30, 10 o'clock when they get home. So from about 6 to 10, I practice.
Throwing bags,
listening to music.
Did you know there's a cornhole store in Wichita?
Oh, I did not know that.
A store dedicated to nothing but cornhole.
Josh was there today.
Yeah, we went today. Quite interesting. Never seen a cornhole store.
Yeah.
Is it just a bunch of bags and boards hanging up everywhere?
Bags, boards,
scorekeeping towers.
They've got softener for your bags. They call it saggy bags.
Is it like a chalk substance that you like shake into it? Or?
No, you don't. That's ridiculous. You don't shake it.
I thought that came with age.
I'm not there yet.
So if you want saggy bags, it will come with age, or you can advance the process and beat it up in your washer for a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it's basically like a fabric softener that you put on the bag, soak it for 45 minutes, put it in your, rinse everything out, put it in your dryer. It tumbles in the dryer, softens up the bag, and so it makes them, when it goes up to the hole, they don't stick on the hole, they slide into the hole.
I just throw them through the hole.
Yeah, okay.
So
he's not a cornholer.
Are your
he's
bags?
Not a bagger.
Are your bags beans or corn?
Neither. Resin
Resin pellets.
Okay.
Because you do know, so if you come play and I weigh your bags and they're not exactly 16 ounces plus or minus a half an ounce, we're not playing with your bags.
Okay.
Okay. And they've got to be 6 inches by 6 inches. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay.
And I would prefer if they had ACL 2020, 2021 on them pro, so that we know that they're rated.
I just bought them off of Amazon.
How about you just play with Matt's bags?
Yeah, we'll just play with your bags.
The only person I've let play with my bags is Josh.
Yeah.
I played with your bags
Oh, you did too. Gosh dang it.
in the hall
Cheating on me.
when I beat you that round.
Oh,
You never beat me.
I came close.
I was going to
You
say,
didn't beat me.
I don't want to have to lose a leg to throw your bags.
It's a
No,
requirement.
I'll buy some guest bags.
You're crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway.
I need to get that poster done for you. You still need that poster
For your bag tournament.
Yeah.
for your tournament? Yeah.
It's gonna be epic.
Tournament. Sorry.
So speaking of
Where's this going to be?
I don't know yet. I haven't thought of all the details. I think of the marketing first, right? So like we were talking about the degrees. So I have a marketing type of mindset. I just don't know how to do most of the graphic design that is required.
That's why you got me.
So I have people like Troy who have that kind of
You know,
knowledge.
I think you had to charge him a dough.
I-
It's going to cost you.
Still paying for that Bambi. I don't know.
It's going to cost you a dough.
Yeah, a dough with nuts. No, but so the teaser for the next season of Cobra Kai was released a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And but anyway, I was inspired because somebody said you should make it. I was talking about having a cornhole tournament, and they said, well, you should call it the All Valley. And I was like, that's not actually.
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
Did
actually.
you see him try not to give me credit? He's like, "Oh, this is a great idea. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said this."
it was you.
So anyway, the All Valley poster from the original Karate Kid movie you can find, and turning the center box into a cornhole board and then bag and making it just kind of funny.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'll hook that up. Now I'm feeling much better weeks after COVID. I'll hook you up.
you're a little bit more spry,
I am. It's good.
sounding a little bit better too.
Thank you.
Keep drinking. But anyway, so we've got Josh here today. Like I say, he's getting a leg built at People's Prosthetics.
Got it finished today.
And yeah, did get it finished today.
I did.
So 3-day turnaround process from Cincinnati coming down to get a leg built and done in basically 2 days
Correct.
Yeah.
because you're leaving
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
morning.
But we're happy to have you here. I'm glad to have you here, staying at my house, sleeping on my most comfortable guest bed.
No, it is not comfortable at all.
I'm telling you, man, that camper bed is.
I did offer you the camper bed.
You did, but
It's also 100 degrees.
that's too.
The camper has AC.
Yeah. It's going to rain tonight.
Yep. Maybe.
I'll just suck it up.
I gotta feel my
less than
joints.
24 hours.
Yeah.
But so anyway, you're getting a leg here. Josh was or is, as the Marines do, is a United States Marine.
Semper.
And I met Josh back in 2012,
late 2011,
late 2011, maybe.
or early 2012. I can't remember.
Yeah, but we were both at Balboa in our recovery stages, and kind of been buds ever since.
For sure.
I didn't know that. I didn't know how you guys originally met.
Yeah, you can't get rid of me.
So how, people that you're in Balboa with, do you guys go to like a physical therapy and you talk to folks? Cause you're not like just walking around, like getting to meet people.
What do you mean we're just not walking around?
Yeah. You were talking about you're in the hospital bed for 4 months.
We were rolling around.
We were rolling around.
Yeah. So you just go around and like, hey,
Well, yeah, in physical therapy and occupational
Yeah.
therapy, you meet everybody.
Yeah, or if you're there for prosthetics, you're all kind of around talking about.
when my dad was in a rehab hospital, like one of the therapy sessions, they would get together with their wheelchairs and walkers and play volleyball with a balloon. Did you guys do that?
No.
Okay. That would have been awesome.
I'd pay to see that. No.
No, but I mean, but out there at Balboa, there's a bunch of hills and stuff like that, and there were a lot of fantastic wheelchair crashes from people racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
I can imagine.
You just got parts everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
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 That's awesome.
But so that's originally where we met, and then we've hunted together quite a bit with WWO.
Yep.
We do War Outdoors. We're both involved with that, and so I don't know how much he's wearing the shirt.
Yes, sir.
I'm wearing meat, but so just great to have you here, and I don't know how much of your story you want to tell, but what forced you or made you want to join the Marines?
I think for me, the biggest thing was I was kind of just hanging out with the wrong people back home, back in Cincinnati. involved with the wrong things, wrong crowd, just trying to fit in, looking for that, I don't know, that brotherhood commitment that I was searching for, maybe a father-like figure. And then I just said, you know what, I got to do something, got to get out of here. So I joined the Marine Corps. And 2006, 2 weeks after I graduated high school, I was gone in boot camp down in Paris Island.
Old PI.
Old PI, oh yeah, sand fleas and all. So after that, you know, graduated from boot camp and then went down to SOI and Camp Geiger, Lejeune. Then after that, went out to the West Coast and did 2 MEWs, which I was told I'd never do. And then on my 3rd and final deployment, I went to Afghanistan and got hit. So
What's a MEW?
Marine Expeditionary Unit.
What does that mean?
Booze cruise.
Oh, so it was like, oh, that's a great assignment.
Yeah. So like I just traveled the country and the world and visited different places.
All the stuff that the Marines tell you initially that you're going to get to do.
See the world? And you were doing that when you went to Peru? Or
No, I was on a different type of deal when I went to Peru. It was just a training deal, partnership with the Americas, but I don't know that it was actually part of a MEW.
Oh, okay. But anyway, you got to see the world a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then you were talking earlier today about being in the Philippines and stuff.
I went to the Philippines, Subic Bay, Thailand twice, Pattaya Beach and Phuket, East Timor, Djibouti, Africa, Malaysia. Been around quite a few places.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great time. I mean, I wish I would have done more things besides just drink, but you know, young and dumb.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing, you know, like I went, when I joined, I did 2 deployments to Iraq and then re-enlisted. And then that next deployment after that, they went on a MEW. And then I get blown up in Sangin in Afghanistan. Their next deployment was a MEW. I never got to do an actual MEW.
You got to get the blow up after the MEW, not before the MEW.
Right.
Yeah. You kind of got those out of order.
So, but you know,
twice.
Even back then, you know, that was still a struggle to even get on a MEW because there were so many, you know, deployments going out.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, that's a real fortunate thing to be able to go do because there's a lot of good training. You meet a lot of good people, you know, and even like when I was down there in Peru, I mean, that's one time that I'll never forget, and that was just awesome.
Yeah.
So, got blown up in 2011.
Correct. November 12th.
And then, so coming up.
My live day, 10 years.
Yep. I just did 10 year back in June. So, but you went through recovery, went through therapy, all that stuff. How long was that?
I was down in Balboa for 2.5 years before I got medically retired.
And at that point, you still had your leg.
That point, yes, I still had my leg.
So so a lot of people don't understand, you know, that process that a person goes through to make that decision. So what made that decision for you?
I think the biggest thing that made that decision is just hanging out with all you guys, you know, just seeing what was possible after the amputation. And here I was, you know, I was non-weight bearing for, I think, 9 months after my surgeries.
Yeah.
So from there, you know, I see all these guys, you know, BKs, paper cuts is what they like to call them.
BK stands for below knee.
Yes,
for
that's
those
correct.
that don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I see them just carrying on with their lives and doing everything they used to. And here I am still in my power chair, not able to do anything. So I started looking into the benefits of amputation, and I had to go talk to the shrink, make sure I wasn't crazy. I had a doctor down at Balboa tell me it was a fad. I wanted to cut my leg off because all my buddies were missing theirs. I was like, you're nuts.
Yeah.
So I lived with that, like I said, for 3.5 years. And then I finally went home, went to the VA, met Dr. Amos. Shout out to him because he saved my life. But he's like, what can I do for it? I said, sir, this is what I want. This is why I want it. And this is what's going to happen after it gets done. And he agreed to do it. It's been the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and a lot of people don't understand. I mean, because every day you're constantly living in pain. You
Correct.
know, they're filling you full of pain meds and whatever. You know, and there's a lot of people out there that are in your same situation, but absolutely dread the thought of having to amputate their leg. But you were looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big decision for sure. And I think the biggest thing for me is that I had the brotherhood of all you guys, right? So everyone that was missing limbs, I saw firsthand what's capable. A lot of people being in the prosthetics industry, as you know, they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So they think they're losing their leg, their life's over. You know, it's not the end. It's just a new beginning.
Yeah.
And so then you get out,
I get out,
get your leg amputated,
get the leg cut off.
and then what?
And then met my prosthetist, Tom Walsh, and then he offered me a job at Abilities in Motion back home in Cincinnati.
And so what do you do there?
I'm a patient advisor and technician, and I absolutely love it. I got that purpose again. It gave me a sense of self-service. I'm not hooking and jabbing with the enemy anymore, but I feel like I'm helping other people carry on with their lives, and that's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, same kind of thing that I do here.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I feel like I have a new sense of purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're giving people those hope, like we were just talking about. They're dreading the whole process, because they didn't have access to everybody that was wounded at the time that we were going through.
Right.
Just like those Marines that were injured, a couple months back
in Kabul.
In Kabul, I'm thinking about them, and I'm like, they don't have that.
Right.
That.
There's not a Josh in the hospital, a room down that you're seeing in physical therapy that's in the same.
Right, there's just
they don't even have C5 anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. Or 5 West. And so, it was a lot easier for us to work through those issues because we had people in all phases of recovery. You had people that were out walking around. You had people that were just, a month or two ahead of you. You had kind of a full spectrum to see. And so, you always had that hope. You're like, oh man, well, he can do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
why can't I?
Exactly. So,
well, and you talked a little bit about, well, I don't even know if you ever talked about it on the podcast. Maybe you have, but I just know that it was WWO that gave you the, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And I want to go kill this bear. Right. And I'm going to find a way to do it. And then that journey, and I know that you've been with WWO. Did you hunt before you got in?
I did a little bit.
Yeah.
But after, I don't know, I'd say my teenage years when I started doing dumb things, I kind of lost all that and then didn't get back into it till after I got hurt.
Yeah.
It's therapy for me. There's nothing better than being outside in the wilderness or on the water. So you can't beat that.
Yeah. And that's Wounded Warrior Outdoors. That's what they do is they find.
Yeah, they were absolutely the catalyst to get me back into it because, that was one of the things that laying there in the hospital bed, it wasn't if I'm going to hunt again because that's my passion, it was how. And WWO showed me how.
Yeah. And
so now Josh and I are kind of what we call, WWO alumni. So we've been through. And so, now these new people that, we're in the process of reaching out to, give them that same opportunity and know that there's hope and it's not over.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament to his character wanting to do that and give back. Cause Josh is just, he's one of those people that I really appreciate that about him is he's definitely, you hear there's givers and takers, out there. And it's very easy in our lives to become a taker because there's so many opportunities out there for us. No matter what anybody says, I see stuff all the time, people don't, we should do more for our troops, blah, 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 and they're talking about the government. But I'm not one who's big on government because there's always strings attached with government.
Yeah.
And I found that it's just individual citizens who have made it a goal or a passion of theirs to help service members.
Right.
And they just do it out of the goodness of their heart. And so it's very easy for a lot of guys to become takers. And Josh just definitely isn't one of those guys. He's definitely a giver, and anything that's given to you, you always give back 10 times more than what you've been given, which I think is awesome.
I try to. I mean, like you said, we receive so much. I mean, I feel like it's very selfish of me not to give back in any type of way that I can.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you feel the same way. It's like, we've been given all this. We've got to do something positive with it because there's no way that we're ever going to actually be able to pay back everything that we've been given. So, for everybody out there that supports, a VSO, Veteran Service Organization, or anything like that, we sincerely appreciate you guys because, it's given us the platform to be able to help others. And so we couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah.
And speaking of Veteran Service Organizations, so you just recently were a beneficiary of one. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I received my home back in June 5th. I got my keys to my house from Homes for Our Troops. And that has been an absolute blessing. Just a simple fact. I think the best thing is just the freedom of movement. Never was able to use a wheelchair before at my old house. And now I don't have any issues. I'm very content. I'm very happy. I have everything I need and more. And just like I've been learning from these guys, and Matt's the one, and Mike that told me, hey, apply for this organization because I felt like I wasn't deserving of it.
Right.
And I'm a below the knee, what is that? And then Matt's like, quit being dumb, Fill it
Yeah.
out. Let them decide if you deserve it or not. And then I was fortunate enough to deserve it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I look at it like the givers and takers that you talked about earlier. Like, oh, I don't need to go talk to Josh, or I don't need to go talk to Matt because they're helping other people, you know. And you guys would be like, hey, dummy, come talk to me. I want to help. Same with Homes for Our Troops. Like, you know, put in an application. We've got some resources here and we want to help. So don't you be the one that holds back. Why don't you just reach out?
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what those organizations are there for, is to help people like us.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, and I wouldn't, how do I say that? I wouldn't put it on somebody to know what it's like to live as an amputee, you know, and know the day-to-day issues that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just, you know, and in those homes, the shower,
Oh, amazing.
the shower, that's probably the biggest thing, you know, because back before I received my home, and I you know, you might have a similar story, but I used to love to get out and go on vacation, because at least if I went to a hotel, I had an accessible bathroom that was easy for me to maneuver around in. And, you know, after I was injured, the Marine Corps moved me from San Diego or Camp Pendleton to San Diego. And they had a house that was somewhat ADA, but it was mostly the bathroom. You know, the hallways, you know, if I'm rolling down the hallway, somebody's got to get to a door to get out of my way, or, you know, whatever. Kitchen cabinets, you know, just the stuff that Homes for Our Troops does, it makes it so much easier so that you can actually enjoy being home, to the point now where if I travel, I'm like, man,
Ready to get home.
I'm ready to go back home. Number one, my shower. Two, I've got pull down cabinets I don't have to worry anything about, because I never travel with a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a credit to Steve with the legs. But, and I don't use as much of this as you do, but, and I think I've said it before, but my number one favorite thing is my heated toilet seat. Like when I sit on a cold toilet
Those
seat,
are
I'm like,
legit.
Wait.
nice.
What is
Those
he
are
saying? He
legit.
doesn't use that as much as you do? What is he trying to say?
there's more options to that heated toilet seat.
You got a bidet too in there?
That is correct.
There is a bidet.
And I use that all the time.
I've heard that's life-changing.
A bidet?
Game changer.
Yeah?
He says it is especially after spicy nachos.
Yeah, when your butthole's burning.
I've never known anybody that has had one that said, nah, don't do it. Not a single person.
I can't get down with it. I'm old school. Give me that paper.
Is the bidet built into the toilet, or are there two separate things?
Nope. So this one is built into the toilet. So, you know, for us,
I've always wanted one.
And it dries you too.
What?
Yeah.
so
Mother mercy.
this thing,
Is it like a scented dryer?
No, it's not scented.
so anyway,
What's it blowing around?
Hot air.
yeah, warm air.
You just spray in that
But it also-
potpourri first for your...
Potpourri.
No,
so
it's potpourri.
Poopery, right?
Yeah, poopery.
Poopery.
Poopery. There it is.
Yeah.
That's
Not
where you get
pot-
your
Did you give me
Potpourri
that
would
for
be something
Christmas a few
different.
years
I
ago?
got some of that too.
I got some for Christmas at some point. The
Probably.
poopery.
So, but anyway, this thing also has a what's called a deodorizer, which is actually not a deodorizer, but it's a fan that sucks the smell out, so it doesn't even stink when you poop.
Where does it put it?
I don't know. It's
cares?
magic. It just goes away.
We don't ask questions.
Is there a vent, like a dryer vent
Yeah.
going out the back of your
I don't
bathroom?
know what's all going, but I mean,
Is it like your neighbors are like, oh, so-and-so, they got their dryer running. I smell gain, you know. Oh, somebody's dryer
Yeah.
running. And then they're like,
that ain't the dryer.
Sust.
That ain't Downy.
Well, so we were filming a wedding. My wife and I, she was doing photography. I was filming it at a house. They were Eastern, or not Eastern Asian, but Eastern Afghanistan or some
Yeah, Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern. Thank you. Well, anyway, I went into the bathroom and I closed the door and this like blue light came on. I was like, what is this? Well, it's coming from the toilet.
Oh yeah, ours has the LED light.
And it had to have been one of these. It was like a bidet, heated seat, like this just most luxurious.
Does it have a
white
USB
throne.
port in there so you keep your phone charged because you're sitting in there forever now?
Probably so.
Well, in the outlet next to it, there's you just
It's got a remote though.
But
No, what?
Yeah.
and I didn't have to sit down in this thing, so I didn't get the full
You should
effect.
have.
I was
You
just
should have.
going number one, but man, it was impressive.
well. So what kind of turned me off to the whole thing was I wanted to test it because this is beyond my scope of things I experienced, because just like I introduce shows, that's basically how I live my life. I'm very even keel. I'm not very exciting.
Very monotone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't need those fancy things. So I wanted to try it out because I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to just sit down and trust that this is going to work. So I put saran wrap over the lid.
Oh, this is so sad.
And-
It's you're not the first person that's ever used this, and there's like some safety issue.
But it's
with
the first time I'm using it. Okay, you have to have confidence in your gear, Marine 101. So I put saran wrap over the lid, and then I push this little button, and out pops this little
Sprayer.
Well, yeah, but it goes out. And I'm like, okay, we're already too weird for me. And then I'm like, no, I'm
So you've never ever
I've never used it.
not one time.
You're missing out.
No, I do have
Sad.
I do have 3 different settings for heat, and I rotate those.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just too hot. If you're sitting down for a while and you got a good one you're pushing
Start
out.
sweating.
You do start your butthole starts. There's some sweat going on.
Things I
gosh.
never thought I'd hear on our podcast. You got a good one you're pushing out.
Matt, I have a challenge for you. This week, before we film and record again, I want you to use that bidet, and I want you to tell me that you like it.
No,
I can't guarantee that.
he may not like it. He may be the one
Tell
guy
me
that's
that.
just
Tell me
like,
that you don't like it, but I want you to use it. And I want you to report back because all our listeners want to know.
It's just, I'm telling you, it's
How
just
it is.
too unsettling when that thing goes, "Beep," and I'm like, okay, that's
when's the next time we're coming
probing
out to
you.
your house?
It's not probing you.
it feels like it though.
It can. I mean, you can control the pressure of the water, the temperature of the water.
Temperature.
Yeah.
I got to get one of these things.
A roll of toilet paper.
No, you
lasts
can
me 2
go
months.
because these are
Holy cow.
just additions to your toilet seat. So you just take your old toilet seat off, put this one on.
It's not a whole brand new toilet.
Yeah, you just plug
Really?
it. You plug it in. All you would have to have would be have somebody run a hot water, whatever, over from your sink and just kind of tie it in,
Right.
so that you have the option for hot water unless you don't care. If I was going to use it, I would.
Getting some
I'm
hot
not
water.
taking any recommendations from you. What do you think, Josh?
do it.
I want to
No,
say
but I
that-
mean, the hot water, is that like necessary?
I mean, unless you want a cold butt.
Well, I mean,
I like it. I mean, it
I
cleans
think
you.
I think lukewarm would be just right on.
Yeah, not scolding. I mean, you don't want to
Yeah.
burn your butthole.
Ooh,
That's what hot sauce is for.
I don't.
you're looking to go the other way, but I think you can.
We need to have an event over at your house, and then I'll just arrange.
to go to my master bathroom.
Try
So
one
If
Yes.
you got the toilets that you guys got from Homes for Our Troops or whatever, do you know what those cost? What those
Well,
run?
so like I said, it's just a replacement toilet seat. So
Okay.
I think you can go online. I looked it up, and I want to say that they're in that.
Just buy mats.
yeah,
I'll
he's
sell
not
it
using
to you.
it.
No,
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 he's using
he
the
likes the heater.
seat heater.
I like the heated
Well,
seat.
get him one of those.
And I will use the deodorant.
sock
I will
things.
use the deodorizer if I'm really putting one to town. But
Did you just say put one to town?
Boom, boom, boom.
Putting one to town in that water treatment system. You got a septic out where you live, though,
I
right?
do. But that's
You know,
what I
we
call
get two Marines on here, and we spend 15 minutes talking about bathroom.
Standard.
But that's what I call it because that's what I feel about going to town. I don't like doing it.
So what's the bathroom called at boot camp? Like, isn't it called something?
The head.
The head.
The head.
If you're in the Army, it would be the latrine.
Latrine.
Yeah.
Air Force?
Bathroom, probably.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
Gender neutral bathroom.
Oh, man.
what would it be in the Navy? Hey.
In the Navy. Oh, man.
Good gosh almighty.
Oh, that's good stuff. Well,
But anyway, I want to say that they're in that $400 price range
Something like that.
to do that toilet seat. So and I would say it is a good investment. I mean, just for the heat in the winter because, like I said, I go to a hotel now and I sit down in a cold seat and I'm like, this is beneath me.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Because you're sitting on
I'm
it.
sitting on it.
good
That's
stuff.
good gracious. But so for our listeners, two things that you should have picked up, two organizations anyway that are highly touted. would be Wounded Warrior Outdoors and Homes for Our Troops.
Yes.
Just great organizations that do some life-changing stuff for.
Absolutely.
Which, if you remember back when we did our top 3 charitable organizations, my top 3 were Wounded Warrior Outdoors, Homes for Our Troops, and Semper Fi Fund. And
Those are my top 3 too.
And those are his top 3. So, and just recently, Semper Fi Fund. So Josh's home. How many acres? You got 7 acres?
7.5. Yes.
7.5 acres. And was it the builder or was it the company? Was it Echo?
No, it was, I guess it was somebody that Michelson Homes knew, still donated a bunch of things to me. So, leaf blower, lawnmower, what else? Snow blower, trimmer, chainsaw, but it's all electric. So you can imagine trying to cut possibly 7 acres.
So it works on your manicured.
Yes, on the sod.
It works beautifully on that stuff. But trying to trim the rest of it because he's now got a gun range in the back, and you've got a feeder set up for deer and turkey and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so in order to be able to see those animals, you have to be able to cut the rest of that grass. And so Semper Fi Fund came in and got him a riding mower so that he can cut that grass. So 3 organizations that actually do the things that they say that they do. And Josh and I both highly recommend.
Yeah. And they regularly take donations, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I think another cool thing about it too, because I watched your the key, is they call it the key ceremony online or whatever it is that they do when
he spoke.
No, yeah, but when you walked in and everybody's there cheering you on.
Oh yeah, the key ceremony.
But like a lot of the volunteers, so I mentioned when I came out to work here, I was talking to some folks that I knew through Habitat for Humanity, and I mentioned, I started working at People's, and they were like, "Oh, do you know Sergeant Amos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I call him Matt," And they're like, "Oh, man, one of the best days we went out there with the Wichita Area Builders Association when he got his house, and I laid sod all day at his house, and just a great joy that I had the opportunity to come and do something for somebody that's done so much for And I look at that like not only are they helping you, but those organizations give an opportunity for people in the community to step up and do something when they don't know what to do, right? So it's like they want to do something. Well, hey, we've got an opportunity, and just seeing the people from your community just show up. And,
I think I had 135 people there. We laid the whole sod in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah.
People that come out that I don't even know that would just support me. I mean, that's a blessing.
Yeah, and it's a blessing to them too. There are a lot of people that are looking for ways to help and just to make a difference. And
because some of those ways might not be monetary.
Yeah.
Right? You might not have the expendable cash to help somebody out, but if you have the opportunity to go volunteer for something like that, there's so many different ways to give. You've got time, and that's one of the most valuable resources that a person can give is their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
fantastic.
So we definitely appreciate that. And to those people that laid my sod, it is still doing well. It had started actually taking over part of my driveway. And so I told you about this a while back, but I invested in a gas-powered edger for the sidewalk and the driveway. It cleaned it up. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Love it. It wasn't necessarily fun to use because it had overgrown so much, but
it is pretty.
Once we got it all scooped up and bucketed up, it was nice.
Very good.
Because you want to throw bags on an edged driveway.
Heck yeah.
You gotta have a nice edge driveway.
That's right.
Yep. Anyway.
Well, cool. I think we ought to go to break and come back with our top 3.
Let's do it. (1797) Establishing dominance. A young nation begins the formation of the world's most formidable fleet of naval ships with the commissioning of its first ship, the U.S. frigate Constellation. A lively blend of rosemary, lemon, and peppermint, 1797 is a great blend to start your day. It is a great awakening quality with a minty kick. Much like stepping out on a deck of a ship cruising the brisk ocean waters, this blend will give you that early morning boost. Check it out at admiralspennant.com.
Admiral's Pennant Beard Oil. Without it, you might as well shave. And we're back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We got some top threes coming up. I'm pretty excited about this.
It's one that you can actually participate in with knowledge.
That's right. Top three.
What does that mean?
Well, I wasn't looking at you.
You're going after Troy.
Hey,
There's
been a lot of top threes that he just doesn't have a whole lot of knowledge on. I feel that this one is.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
And I think the listeners ought to chime in. I've been more prepared than Matt on a number of podcasts. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to do top three video games.
Now we get it.
And since Matt is so concerned about my top three, I'm going to ask him to go first.
Whew. Honorable mentions.
Here we go.
No, I'm going to. So there's so many different video games out there, so many different platforms. But the I guess number 3 for me is going to be on Xbox 360, and Tiger Woods PGA Golf.
That's a good one.
Because it had given me all of the courses out there to play.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite, it's Hell's Canyon. And just the drive off of the first tee box it's like an extremely elevated green, like way up there. And it feels like you can drive that ball a mile. And if you're Tiger Woods, you can hit the green. But I think that I would be well short of the creek prior to the green.
Yeah.
But phenomenal game. We used to play that in the barracks when there was nothing to do. And that is how we passed the time, was playing Tiger Woods PGA Golf. Did you do that?
No. Rock Band.
Rock Band? Oh, so yeah, a little bit later. So you had the guitar and
You're the OG. I'm still the boot.
so playing that. So that'd be number 3. Number 2 is a tough one. I was a real big fan of Red Dead.
Is that the Western?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
I've
like
never played
I don't
that.
think I ever played it either.
It's like a role playing game. It's not. It wasn't easy in the beginning to try to figure out, but as you got more into it, you started to see the storyline and started to be able to do more. But riding horses, Old West type stuff, it was a pretty cool game. So I think it's kind of right there tied. Now I'm drawing a blank on because I didn't write it down because I knew I was gonna.
You went ahead and said that before I called you out for not writing it down.
Yep. Uncharted. There we go. Uncharted.
Very
So
good.
that's tied for number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're both role playing games. Uncharted's more fantasy type stuff a little bit.
I've never even heard of that.
Uncharted's kind of like it's kind of like Indiana Jones meets like modern day. I don't know. It's really good.
Yeah, like
That's a great explanation.
like
But
modern day mafia type stuff.
Yeah,
because you got people chasing you.
yeah,
But it's a good game that I sat down and I started playing and I didn't stop. And I spent a day and a half, 2 days before I finally beat it.
yeah.
So that'd be tied for number 2. Number 1, Call of Duty.
Yes.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them.
Oh,
But I would say that it's a close tie between Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So Black Ops 2 was basically the last game that I ever bought on a video gaming platform. Because PlayStation 3 was my last video game platform.
Mine too.
So, not that I haven't been enticed with some of the newer stuff coming out, but
Right.
Modern Warfare 3 came out while I was in the hospital. And so I spent a lot of time. My wife brought the PlayStation up for me. And in 5 West, they had just done this ward for wounded guys. And so I had like a nice big, 50-inch TV,
Oh, that's awesome.
LCD TV. And I hooked up the PlayStation to it. And I literally, because I was bedridden, right? I've no legs and a broken hip, and I couldn't even get out of bed. So for for at least 2 months straight, that is all I did almost all day, every day was play Modern Warfare
Now,
3.
like campaigns or online?
No, multiplayer.
Online?
So I beat all the
campaigns,
campaigns.
Yeah.
Because I'd never even been introduced to multiplayer. And then all of a sudden, boom, here's this awesome multiplayer platform.
Boom.
And I started
Multiplayer platform. Boom.
I started playing all the time to the point where I was in like at the very least the top 50 players in the world. And I mean, and still, if I go back, like I fired it up maybe 2 years ago, just to tool around with it a little bit to see if I still if there was anybody still playing, and two, if I was still any good, and got back in there, and I'm still in the top 1 million players in the world, not having played for like 9 years. That's literally, so all it takes is
big accomplishment, right?
like if you want to talk video game nerd at that time, like I was in. I mean, I went out and I
so
had
much so you got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Jeep.
Yep. So I had I even had
Oh
the
yes,
Jeep.
he did. Yeah.
And Black Ops 2, I don't know. I just like those games. And then I go back to looking at some of the first edition of those types of games back when it was regular PlayStation and it was Navy SEALs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then even with going back further, so I was
I go back further.
I know you do. You're probably on Commodore or something like that. I had the Atari 2100, 2600, 2100.
I don't remember.
Those are all boxed up somewhere with all the games, Asteroid. The baseball game that all you had to do was push the button and pull back and you had a home run every time.
We had an Intellivision at my grandparents' house. Played that all the time.
But, and I can't put those on there. And then you move forward, and Nintendo came out and you got Duck Hunt, you got the track and field, and Final Fantasy, which was a really good one.
I never really got into it.
If you did, it was pretty good. And then Paperboy.
I remember
Mike
Paperboy.
Tyson's Punch Out.
Yes.
Yep. I got the NES system that they came out with a few years ago.
That little one?
Yeah, the little one.
It's
that's
got Mike Tyson on there.
All the games.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have all of them.
Well, you can hack it and get a bunch more.
Whoa.
Talk to me, Troy.
Yeah.
How do you hack it?
I didn't actually do it, but I had a friend bring me a little hard drive, flash drive to plug it in.
Find out, man, because
it was too much work.
I've got one and it's got Contra 2 instead of the original.
Oh, well, I got one. Mine's got Contra original.
Oh.
The only thing I don't like about it is the controllers are too slow. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I thought it was me just being slow.
No, it's the controller.
Yeah.
Like the technology with the old controllers and the new technology in the gaming system to have all these games in one place, it has a lag.
Oh.
Like it's very small. But man, I can tell it just screws up my whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I quit playing it.
They do now have what do they call it? Emulator, where you can play all Nintendo games on your computer.
Yeah,
oh, that's cool.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I'll have to check that out.
That was big on ship.
They might even have it on your phone now too.
Yeah, you need the old controller.
I agree.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The blisters.
Anyway,
right there.
That rounds out my top 3.
Right on. Great job. I'll go next. Got a couple of honorable mentions that I have to throw in here. Number 1, the original Zelda for the original Nintendo. When that came out, that beautiful gold case game out of the box, which is gleaming. You remember that?
$60 bucks. Like it was expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I mowed quite a few yards for that game.
Yeah.
Put that bad boy in. Took me a couple months, but I finally beat it. But man, it's just a good game to go back and to play even this day. Like it's a good one. And then, do you remember Twisted Metal?
Yes.
One of my all-time favorite games to play in college on the PS2, I believe.
I think so.
And me and my roommate would just stay up night after night playing that.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
It's a game where you're in a car. you pick a vehicle and you just go around and you just beat up the other cars.
Destroy other vehicles.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The clown with the
Sweet
fire.
Tooth.
Yeah,
Sweet
Sweet
Tooth.
Tooth. Yeah. So we played that, and then we also played my last honorable mention, Resident Evil.
Yep.
Pick any of them. They were all awesome. All awesome. And we, my roommate, actually before we were roommates, he lived in what we called the vault in our fraternity house, and it didn't have a window. So we would go in there, crank up. He had his audio system hooked up to this little TV, you know, and he'd crank it up, and it was surround sound. So all these sounds would be creeping us out with Resident Evil, and yeah, just a lot of fun. A lot of good memories with that game. All right, so now we'll get into my top 3.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Hey, I never do honorable mentions, like rarely
Okay.
ever.
Oh,
So.
never.
All right, number 3, Metal Gear, the original.
Yep. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, man, played that game, and then even when they came out with newer editions,
You
on
went
the
back to the original?
PS3. No, I just kept upgrading, man. They just kept getting better and better, and just
So,
love it.
both of you guys are PlayStation guys.
Yeah,
For the most part, I've owned
Figures.
I've owned every system, with the exception of Sega.
I've had
Sega.
I had Sega, Nintendo, Sega, then PlayStation, and I stopped at PS3. Never got the 4.
Is 4 like the latest one?
5.
5.
5's the latest. Yeah.
Okay.
You can still get a 4 though too. Love Metal Gear, and then number 2, Uncharted.
Great game.
Phenomenal game. I got so good at it that I would start and finish the game only doing headshots.
Headshot.
Like I would not kill anybody unless I shot him in the head. So then I figured out that I had a problem.
What if you were playing the game and you like didn't shoot somebody in the head?
I'd start over.
What?
That's commitment.
Yeah.
But
That's,
I mean,
that's one word you could use.
but I got that good at it that I beat the game
So what you're saying is
all headshots.
you're as good at Uncharted
Headshot.
as I am at cornhole.
A headshot
Possibly.
in cornhole is
Possibly.
the straight through. What do they call those?
Airmail.
Airmail. Yeah, that's a headshot.
There you go. All right. So then number 1, what changed my life
Oh man.
with video games?
Halo.
No.
Oh.
SOCOM.
Oh yeah.
That was the game. PlayStation.
SOCOM came out.
that was
you
it.
could hook that bad boy up to the internet.
You had
You
your
could do your multiplayer. You could
Yeah.
talk to other people. Man, when I hooked this thing up,
You're an operator.
I was an operator. I was freaking staying up till 2, 3 a.m. every night playing this.
Yeah.
Going to work tired. Like ridiculous. But oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was a game changer.
Yeah.
Like the internet, just, man, floodgates wide open.
All right.
Yeah, then a year later, I met my wife and I haven't played since. But my kids are now getting into Fortnite at their friend's house. And my 7-year-old is really into Mario, so I think we're about to upgrade. And I think we might be getting a Xbox 360 or whatever the Xbox is.
Xbox One.
Xbox One.
Is it one?
Well, the
I
new
think there's a
one's
new.
Xbox Series X.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for Fortnite. And then I think I'm going to get a Switch for my 7-year-old because he really digging on some Mario. So
The old Wii.
that's what they play now. We have an old Wii and they, oh gosh, they just keep scratching up the discs. And I just told Hannah, let's just sell everything we got, put it towards the Switch.
Man, that was the Nintendo games that I forgot to mention. Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2,
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat, Fatality.
Classic.
Finish him.
Well, we got 2 more top 3s. We might hear them.
We might.
Not for me.
All right, Josh, what you got?
Let's see. Number 3, I'm gonna go Super Mario, just because
I love it.
it was the first system I ever had. So I think I was 6 or 7. I was at Chuck E. Cheese, and I got a Nintendo for my birthday. It was like I was really happy.
That's awesome.
So I had that and Super Mario and Duck Hunt. Number 2, I am going to go Grand Theft Auto.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nothing
Yeah.
beat. I mean, I'd spend 8-9 hours just playing that game.
Oh, easy.
You don't even have to like do the story mode. You can just run around and kill people.
Run over people. And yeah.
I remember begging my mom. I was like 13 or 14 for Christmas. I was like, Mom, give me this game. She didn't know what she was doing, but she got it for me anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think now on Grand Theft Auto, they have all these like different things you can do with like skateboards and jumping off
Oh yeah, you can ride bikes.
buildings and yeah.
You can do the
Crazy.
stock market.
What?
Yeah,
So crazy.
And yeah, 5 you can play the stock market. You can win a bunch of money, and then you can kill people so you can get more money.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
But going back to Mario, we got that little Nintendo deal, and I was showing my kids, hey, Mario Brothers, and then like we went down in the whatever, when you're down in the black and blue. And yeah, that one. And I'm running around, and I knew where the block was, the secret block, and they're like, "How'd you know that?" I'm like, "Let me tell you something. I know things, right?" And
This ain't my first rodeo.
yeah, I know what's going on. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. And then number 1 is like Matt said, Call of Duty. It's just because it's Call of Duty. I mean, I still play now.
Yeah.
I've got I'm not a PlayStation guy. I'm an Xbox guy.
It's all good.
So,
Right here,
I mean,
man. Right here.
See, and I think the difference was
PlayStation.
I really like the PlayStation because of the controller, and you really like the Xbox because of the controller.
Yes. So I used to play Halo, but then the buttons never would jazz with the new first-person shooter game, so I stopped playing Halo. And I still dabble a little bit here and there. Now my Xbox is more used for like Netflix and Amazon since I'm getting old.
Yeah.
But I'm still single, so I can still play them games
Yeah. It's fun.
In his new home.
in my new home.
There you go.
That's awesome.
You got Chet.
All right, honorable mentions.
I can guarantee you right now, Nintendo, and he used a Game Genie to beat the games.
I don't even know what a Game Genie is.
Oh, I forgot about the Game Genie.
I remember
What's
that.
a Game Genie?
Yeah, like you don't know.
I
It had
don't.
all the codes in it. So like you would put it in your game. So you would stick it in the Nintendo, and then you'd stick the game inside the Game Genie, and it had like you just pick whatever game you're playing. You
No.
get all your codes.
Didn't even know that existed.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I never had one, but I remember it.
Atari, Pitfall, and Defender. Both of those on Atari were awesome. Defender, I spent more time playing Defender than anything
Which one
else.
was Defender?
What's that?
It's when you got the spaceship,
Yep.
all right, and it
So-
almost looks like a Star Destroyer, the shape of it.
Yep.
And you're going back and forth and shooting things, and you're going other ways, and you can turbo this way and go back that way all across the screen, up and down, and things are coming in.
Yep.
I remember
awesome.
that one.
Before my time.
Yeah, most of all this stuff will be before your time.
I'm sorry, I'm so
Yeah.
young.
No, I'm just saying, when I was in it, it was
Is the bee's knees?
long time ago. All right, so number 3, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. Is there a 4?
Yes, I believe so.
Not sure.
I like that one a lot. Call of Duty in general, and this is actually something I play with my kids, which is a lot of fun. We'll do local like team deathmatch and stuff, and go against bots or go against each other and all kinds of stuff. But I think the one I liked the most was the Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I like that one. More enjoyable. There's the one that we have now too is in Infinite Warfare.
Yeah,
and you like go to
It's
space.
like-
I'm not as big of a fan of that because sometimes I just don't want to fly that stupid thing around. I'd rather just be on the ground shooting people and not floating around, gravity free. Number 2, back on the original Xbox, Simpsons Road Rage.
Yes.
I used to play that at your house in Shreveport.
And
Yeah.
this one was awesome because my wife is not a video gamer, but she loved this game. And back when we just had one little baby and we got a little break, that was our time was playing Road Rage. And it's like Crazy Taxi. I don't know, you know what I'm talking about? Crazy Taxi. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was all with Simpsons characters, and there's still some phrases from that because every time you picked up somebody that with whatever character you're in, then they would say something. And I still use it to today when you're Mo, the bartender. Like you'd pick up somebody and he'd go, and away we mow, like that. So and we'll get in the car today, and sometimes I'll just holler out, and away we mow. Anyway, a lot of fun. And Ashley would occasionally beat me and would occasionally cuss, while playing that game. Many years ago,
that's
for those of you that are listening.
Free time, you're playing a video game when you have a baby.
I've got a tie when the baby's sleeping. I got a tie between for first place, and that's X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, which was a PC game, and Doom.
Doom.
When Doom was just a PC game. So my sophomore year, this is I'm talking about when like computers were coming out. Mm-hmm. Like your personal, you had a personal computer that wasn't an Intellivision or a Commodore or whatever. Well, my roommate was a computer genius, still is like a VP of IT or something today. But I remember him getting a student loan check and like spending the whole thing on a new computer, like building all this stuff. The tower was huge. So we were, we played Doom. He played Doom. I'd play Doom. We play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. And then like one day, our buddy John from a couple floors up, he's like, hey, JD, my computer's broken. I need you to fix it. And he's like, yeah, I can fix your computer. It may take me a little while. I'm like, yeah, sure. But so he brought it down. And then, so I walk in from class one day and my nightstand is pulled away from my bed and there's a computer monitor on it in the middle of our room. And then there's a tower right next to it, and there's wires running to JD's computer at the desk. I'm like, what's going on here? He's like, dude, you can network computers, and you can be on the same level in Doom at the same time. And I'm like, what? Like, you can do... And he's like, yeah, 2-player, and you're on the same level. Like, you're kidding me. And he's like, no. So we got on and, like, played multiplayer before they knew what multiplayer was. Like, so we had linked the computers together. And I'm like, well, whose computer is this? He's like, well, it's John's. Like, it was broken, and I fixed it. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, how long are we going to get to play? He's like, weeks. And I'm like, what do you mean? And sure enough, like, John called later that night. Hey, dude, when do you think you're going to be done with my computer? He's like, oh, it's going to take me a couple weeks to get this thing figured out, John. So we did not sleep for 2 weeks and just played Doom on network together on PC, which was pretty awesome. And my skill level in video gaming went up just as fast as my grades went down. Like right. There was a direct correlation
right.
of grades and skills on the computer.
Well, I think back to the first PC game that I remember, and that was Wolfenstein.
Yes. We played a little bit of that, but Doom was just the newest and more advanced thing right when it was coming out.
Oh, man. I played King's Quest all the time on my PC. King's Quest 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are by far the best computer games ever. And then Disney came out with a movie called The Black Cauldron. Yep. And they had a game for that too. Oh, man. I sat in front of that PC probably 3 or 4 hours a night. I mean, my parents just let me do that. But
yeah.
Man, it's so much fun.
The other day I was talking to my son about video games or something, and I mentioned, Doom, and he's like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you played Doom? I was like,
the original.
I was like, a lot. And he's like, whoa, man, that's cool. I'm like, okay.
Well, they had a Star Wars game come out that kind of emulated Doom when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And it was Dark Troopers. Yep. I think. You remember that one?
No, it wasn't called. I don't think it was called that.
It might not have been called that.
We played it, though. We had it.
Dark Troopers were in the game, but maybe it was called something else. But, man, yeah, I played that a lot, too. Man, those are good times.
And I'm trying to think. There was a Nintendo 64 that had, it was a Star Wars-based game, but they had their little vehicles, and you were flying around racing.
The pod racers?
Something like that.
Like from episode 1?
Well, I guess, but they had like the ships that you were racing, and
yeah.
And you're trying to beat your own time. I always love those racing games to try to beat your own time.
Oh, yeah. I love racing games, too.
Dark Forces.
Dark Forces.
Yes.
There it is. Yeah, I played that at my friend John's house all the time. Great game.
Yeah, we played that one quite a bit, too. But not as much as Doom. And then Doom 2, and then Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
Forgot about that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
A little bit older, but always been PC, Nintendo, and then went Xbox. Never did the Sony business. And then, well, there was a buddy of mine had a Sega, like Tecmo Bowl, and all that kind of stuff.
I had Sega with Altered Beast and Sonic and all those
Yeah.
games. They had a really good Major League Baseball game. Al Michaels did all the commentating for it on Sega. It was really good. Played that a lot.
Almost feel like going home playing video games now.
I do too. Let's wrap this up. Who's got the good word?
I do.
Well,
Let's hear it.
let's hear it.
Are you ready?
Yep.
So we're well into October now, and I've refrained from the past couple podcast episodes to talk about one of the major and significant things that happened in October. Can any of you guys guess what it was?
I cannot.
Seinfeld is on Netflix.
Ah, yeah.
October 1.
That's right.
So catching up on any of the episodes whenever you want to watch it. But I was reminded, kind of just talking through it, they went out on top and they quit. But one of the things that a lot of people thought was the final episode was stupid. And because they all it was just like lackluster, not this big.
They all went to jail, right?
They all went to jail.
Yeah.
What did they go to jail for?
Don't remember.
Spoilers.
What's that?
I never seen that. I mean, I've seen Seinfeld, but I've never seen the last episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
me either.
They all. Oh my gosh!
Spoiler alert.
alert.
Spoiler alert.
They
There
go
it
to
is.
jail.
I think I'm gonna have to talk more about Woodlawn.
Oh,
No.
gosh, no.
No, you're not. We'll just replay that hour that you did on the previous episode. But anyway, they get the use of NBC's jet. They're going to go to Paris because they got the show signed and whatever else. And there were some difficulties with the airplane. They thought they were all going to crash. They made fun of, their last moments of, we're all going to die. So, Jerry looked at Elaine like they were about to get, I love you kind of thing. But then, like, the plane leveled out. And she's like, what were you about to say? And he's like, nothing. Like, nothing. It's just so they made fun of all the sob stories of all the other shows' last episodes where everybody cries. But anyway, they end up having to land in some town in New England somewhere because the plane had issues. And so they're walking on the street and they see this dude get carjacked. So, like, this guy gets pulled out of his car by gunpoint and whatever. And Kramer has this on the shoulder video camera that he's got to go to Europe with and record some stuff. So he's like recording the dude get hijacked, and it's a big fat guy. And so then Jerry's making jokes about how fat he is. And, the whole time, the guy gets in the car, drives away, and then the cops show up and they're like, hey, what's going on? The Kramer's like, well, heck, I got it all on tape right here. What happened? And they were like, you didn't do anything to help. They're like, no. Like, why would we do anything to help? Like, this is...
We're New Yorkers.
Yeah. Like, we don't do that. And then, like, so they use the tape for evidence to, on the carjacking deal. But then they're like, the guy watching is like, oh, these New Yorkers are just making fun of this fat guy getting, carjacked. Well, we have a law here in town that requires you to help. It's like a duty to help law. Like, it is your duty as a citizen to help somebody in distress. Mm-hmm. And all you did was sit back and make fun of him. Like this, and record it and think this is funny. Well, this thing came out back in the 90s. Well, what goes on today
Exactly.
is exactly that. And what they got convicted for, so they ended up all in jail. Like the last scene, they're in their cell and they start talking. They actually, a little Seinfeld trivia here. They start talking about the very first thing that was talked about in the first episode, which is like buttons on shirts, some silly, trivial, whatever. But they were charged with criminal indifference. So I look at today from a good word perspective. I'm like, well, do I go here's a good bad word, like an indifference? But then I'm like, well, what's the opposite of indifference? There's so much indifference that we see today. Well, it's zeal. And to actually have a passion for good, the actual definition, great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or objective. So passion around getting something done. And I look at that. We kind of talked about a little bit about that today with just some organizations that have a zeal for helping wounded veterans, right? And you see the veterans that are in those organizations have that passion for other veterans, and we want to, reach out and do that. But then if you look at Scripture in Romans 12:11, it says, "Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord." And so I think what's so prevalent today, and if we were to use a measuring stick as to who we are and what we want to do against indifference, we don't have to do much. But the reality is that's not what we should be comparing ourselves to, is all these videos that are out there of these old people getting hit while they're walking down the sidewalk. Somebody comes up and punches them in the head and knocks them out. And everybody just looks at that like, oh, somebody's filming it, right? We saw a video of it. And then everybody else is like, dang, I'm not going to say anything to that guy, or maybe I get hit. And then, there's an old person laying on the floor now, or all this stuff that's going on. People are just indifferent to what's happening around them. And we can't just look at that and say, well, at least I'm a little bit better than that. If we compare ourselves to what Scripture's calling us to do, or what we know we should be doing as an honorable person on this earth, is to have a passion or a zeal about helping others, and not just being indifferent about everything that's going on around us. So my good word for tonight would be zeal.
Zeal.
I like it.
That's it.
Great job.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
I think we're good.
Josh, I can't tell you, man, how much we appreciate you having here.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Been a lot of fun. Matt, feed you well while you're here?
Of course. That's what Sweet Pea does.
That's what I do.
I was
He didn't give
hoping.
me any moose, though.
I was
No moose.
hoping that the nickname would come out. Did you guys catch that?
Sweet pea.
Sweet pea.
Sweet pea.
Right on.
All right.
Take us out of here, Sweet Pea.
You got it.
Well, thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review, share this episode, share other episodes with your spouse, with your friends, with your neighbors. Get the word out about the Hardheaded Podcast. And look forward to our online store. We'll be having some merch coming out soon. You can purchase maybe some hats, some t-shirts,
What?
coffee mugs, who knows?
Stickers?
Stickers, car stickers. We're not huge fans of, but if you like them,
Stickers for your bow case or your gun case.
there you go. Now we're talking.
Your cooler. Stickers for your cooler.
For your cooler.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Like a record?
Spin the black circle.
Your fantasy as a DJ is coming out.
Scratch it.